everybody, my name's Graham from Conceptual Academy, and it's January, which means it's cold, but it also means we're waiting on the wolf moon to rise on the horizon, just over there. Since it's the first full moon after the solstice, we call it the wolf moon. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a picture of it when it's close to the horizon, and then again when the moon's at its peak. And we're going to compare and see why the moon is larger when it's closer to the horizon. All right, here we are, 6 hours later. Newsflash, still cold. It's time to take a picture of the moon high in the sky. All right, let's go compare. So let's take a look at the video of the moonrise we took earlier today. And you can see it there. Moon's rising as the moon does. And as it's going up there, oh look, there's an airplane. I didn't see that before. Makes the moon look pretty huge. So I guess perspective's pretty important in a case like this. But I gotta tell you, bottom of that moon looks a little squishy. You know, just not a perfect circle, kind of oblong. But now that we have the data in, we can take a look side by side of the picture we took of the moon on the horizon and then the picture that we took when it was higher up in the sky. And dog my cats, they're the same size. But it does look squishy. And the reason that happens is because of refraction. And refraction, as you know, is the bending of light as it passes through a new medium. And in this case, we have something called differential refraction. All that really means is that the bottom of the moon is experiencing more refraction than the top of the moon. And because the bottom of the moon is experiencing more refraction than the top of the moon, you get a squishy moon. Et voila, ou squishy. And I know you've seen this before. I know you have. Watching a nice romantic sunset, and as the sun falls closer to the horizon, the sun tends to get a little squishy, and you get sunset squishies. Very romantic. But refraction is not really what we're aiming to talk about here. What we want to talk about are these two pictures, side by side. You know, why does the moon look bigger when it's closer to the horizon? Is it because it's actually bigger? No, not by much. Or is it that your eyes are just lying to you? So, craft alert. I created this beautiful cutout of a cityscape, and I want to see what the moon looks like when I hold it up to it. Now, I could show you this, but since you're watching through a camera how I'm talking to you, you're not going to see anything, because cameras are a little more objective than our eyeballs. Our brains are what make this different, and cameras don't got no brains. So here's a super easy project that you can do at home to show how your eyes and your brain sometimes fudge the truth a little bit. So what you want to do is hold your hand out like this, and then hold your other hand about halfway between your hand and your face. And you're looking at these hands here and you say, this one might be a little bit smaller, not by much. But if you close one eye, you're kind of in for a shock. So you close that one eye, and all of a sudden this hand is exactly 4 times smaller than it was before. So here's the crux of the problem. Your brain knows darn well that both of your hands are the same size. But what it does is the brain fudges your observation to keep in line with that thinking. For another example, unfortunately, we gotta go back outside into the cold. You ever stand on a beautiful vista such as this and look at the glorious Rocky Mountains and you say to yourself, my, those are huge mountains. Well, the fact of the matter is they are huge, and your brain knows they're huge, so your brain tells your eyeballs that they're huge. Now, what do? You want to make it so that all your friends, they think, oh, I want to live there too, so you take a picture. You take a picture on your phone, and then right before you text it, you look at it, and those mountains look itty bitty. Why is that? Secret is your brain is lying to you through your eyeballs. So the fudging we've been talking about up until this point has realistically mostly been to do with your brain. But I don't know if you know this or not, but your eyeballs are actually connected to your brain. And there's some hinky things that your eyeballs can do on their own. And we call those optical illusions. So let's take a look at that. So here's one of my favorite optical illusions. This one is crazy. Stare at the plus in the center as the magenta dots blink on and off circling around. Because of how our eyes work, there arises this fatigue. You'll see an after image of the opposite color. In this case, it's green. Stare long enough, and you'll see a single green dot going round and round. It's pretty cool when you get to see that moving green dot. Why? Because here's an actual case of you seeing something that is literally not there. So let's get back to the brain. And here's one that really freaks me out. So the human eye works on what we call pinhole optics. And what that means is light from various sources all go through a tiny pinhole. In this case, it's your pupil. And light from the bottom hits at the top, the back of that pinhole. And light from the top actually hits at the bottom, the back of that pinhole. That is to say, the images that you're seeing are actually upside down inside your eye. But then how do we see things right side up? The fact of the matter is you don't. You don't see things right side up. It's just that your brain fudges to flip everything upside right. So if you want to see what it's actually like to see things upside down before your brain fudges that, you're going to need a pair of prism glasses. And I just so happen to have some. So I'll pop these bad boys on, and I'll see everything upside down. And I've heard if you leave these on for about a week, your brain will eventually adapt and flip the image upside right. So let's see how that goes. I appreciate you watching the video. Again, I'm Graham, like the cracker, from Conceptual Academy. Remember to feed this. Good science to you, friends.